What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of my summer cut. Now, I will start by saying that this video is going to be different than the reels that I typically put out because this is going to be strictly for information purposes. This is going to give you an insight into how I coach myself as well as how I coach my one-on-one clients. So the whole purpose of this series is for you to follow along with me while I document my journey so that you can see what I do and the processes that I go through with everything from the smallest detail to looking at the bigger picture. If you do follow along with this and you mimic everything that I'm doing in the videos, because I'm not going to hold anything back, you too can get results. I just realized that I had my mic here. Anyway, you too can get results. Now, I will say there's a caveat to that. Everything I'm going to be talking about in this video, like exact number-wise and exercise or whatever, nutrition, calories, macros, it's for me. This is strictly for me. So your results may vary if you do exactly what I do, because depending on what your goals are and what you need to do to get lean for summer, if that is your goal, you're not going to get the same results as me if you do exactly what I do. Now, if you mimic the principles and follow along and are able to calculate it for yourself and figure out what to do exactly, then you will, get the results that you're looking for. Implementing everything that I will be talking about during this video series so that you can be shredded, you can get lean, and depending on how much body fat you need to lose, you can have your six-pack by summer. You can be laying out on the beach with your abs showing. So without further ado, let's hop into the first episode. All right, so as you can see, I averaged in for the week at 171 pounds. So with me just relaxing, this is what I look like, okay? So actually, it doesn't look bad, I'm gonna say. But this is what I'm working with to start. Okay, so the first thing that I wanna talk about is the in-body scan. Now, if you don't know what an in-body is, it's essentially a special scale. It sends like an electrical shock that you don't feel through your body to determine how much muscle you have, what your body fat percentage is, how much fat you're carrying around, how much water you have in your body, whatever. It's not 100% accurate because it only goes by limited metrics. Kind of similar to like if you're wearing a Fitbit and it says, oh, I burned 1,000 calories this workout. No, you didn't. It says that because it's only measuring your height, age, weight, and whatever. It's limited to the number of factors. So in-body scans are not going to be 100% complete, but it is going to be as close as you can get to potentially doing like a DEXA scan, or the scans that they do, like if you go to the hospital and they submerge you in water, which that is probably the most accurate one you can get. I'm not going to be that meticulous. I don't think you need to either. But we're going to look at the in-body scan right here. This is the paper. You step up on the scale. It measures your body weight, and then you put in your age, your height, and your age, and then it scans you. And there's a lot of information that gets outlined. I'm going to put a screenshot of it up here on the screen here. But there's a lot of information that's outlined in these in-body scans that it can kind of seem overwhelming and you don't really need it. The real big thing that I'm going to be focusing on during this cut is my weight, my skeletal muscle mass, my body fat mass, and my body fat percentage. Now, as I break that down here, at the bottom of this paper, if you ever do one, you're going to see that it's going to, it's mirrored here. I might actually flip it for this video. But you're going to see that you got a line here, you got a point here, and a point here, okay? That's essentially telling you that every time you go to use the in-body, it pulls your metrics from the previous time that you stepped on the scale, and it's comparing your time today to the time that you used it last. And the last time that I used this prior to this most recent one was on January 10th. I was 166.5 pounds, almost 83 pounds of skeletal muscle mass, which is the muscle that's in contact with your skeleton. It's not all your muscle mass, so don't freak out if you're like, oh, I have very little muscle mass. No, that's not all your muscle. Body fat percentage was 12.5. And then electrolytes, not important. I don't even know why it scales it on here. Just drink more water, okay? That's really it. Don't dehydrate yourself. When I took the test again on March 3rd, I was 170 pounds, 170.8. So 4 more pounds, okay? I went from 82.9 pounds of skeletal muscle mass to 87.5%. Body fat went from 12.5 to 10.5, and electrolytes went down, but I'm still within range there. Anyway, that's not what I had expected. I was expecting my body fat percentage to have increased from 12.5, or at least stayed the same. I was not expecting that I would have been losing body fat as well as building muscle, which I did the calculations in those 2 months, which is crazy. I'll talk about this later, and I'm not going to talk about it today. But I put on almost 5 pounds of muscle, which if anybody knows anything about advanced lifters, which are people that have been lifting for a number of years, it's incredibly hard for them to put on muscle unless they're on some kind of performance enhancers, some kind of steroid, testosterone, illegal testosterone booster, or some kind of medically prescribed testosterone booster. It's very, very, very hard for people to put on muscle, even men. So the fact that I was able to do that kind of rattled my thoughts around the ability to build muscle. And it really came down to the intensity that I was working out at. There was another thing that I was doing, but when I get into the nutrition episode, I'll talk about that, and I'll get into more detail about it. But yeah, crazy. And I definitely wasn't expecting to lose any more body fat percentage. Now that I've got my in-body out of the way, the first thing that I need to make sure that I'm doing on a daily basis is weighing myself. Weighing myself. I said that weird. If you don't have a scale at home, get one. You can get one fairly cheap, $20. Anyway, what I do is the first thing I do when I wake up is after I'm done using the bathroom, I will weigh myself. I make note of what I weigh. Body weight fluctuates every single day, so I just make note of what it says. At the end of the week, I add all of that up, and then I divide it by the number of days that I weighed myself to get the weekly average. Once I get the weekly average, I'm going to be able to see over time, am I losing weight, gaining weight, staying the same? And then from there, I can make the decision, okay, I need to either cut my calories or add more cardio, something like that. After I weighed myself for this first week, I averaged at 171 pounds on the dot, 171.0. So that is going to be the starting point for the next 12 weeks moving forward. The next thing is I need to make sure that I'm setting up my workout routine in a way that's going to help promote muscle growth along with preventing myself from gaining weight and preferably losing body fat. So, going through the gauntlet that I just went through over the past couple months to gain almost 5 pounds of muscle, my central nervous system is shot. So the idea of me lifting anything super heavy, like going for working weights with strength sets, PRs, 1 rep maxes, it's out of the question. I'm not going to be doing it. So what I'm doing instead is, instead of going for a 3x5 working weight, which is 3 sets of 5 reps, I'm going to cut that weight down to 60% of my 1 rep max, and I'm going to be doing 12 reps for 4 sets. So more volume, still getting the activation of my central nervous system in order to promote strength, but there's going to be a little bit more hypertrophy based focus behind it because of the higher reps. It's kind of I don't want to say like a cheat code, but it kind of is in a way, where if you're trying to get stronger, and you're just like beat up to the point where you're like, I really don't feel like I can lift heavy. Doing something like that is a really, really good alternative, because at the very least, it'll prime your central nervous system to come back stronger when you are ready to lift heavy again, which I will be in the coming weeks as I progress through this training plan. The other thing too is I am making sure that I'm lifting 3 to 4 days per week. So I will have my current split is pull, cardio, push, cardio, legs, and then a weak point day or cardio, whatever I might need that day. But that's just a little insight into it. I will go more in depth with that in the next episode. But for right now, it's just lift, cardio, lift, maybe cardio, maybe both. Next is nutrition. So what I was doing, and I'm going to be open and honest about this, I was shooting for 2,600 calories a day because you don't need that much of a surplus to build muscle. When I started building muscle straight off of my cut, there's a lot of information out there about like reverse dieting and like slowly getting back up to your maintenance. I say, fuck that. When you are done with your cut, immediately go back to your maintenance. Okay. So if your maintenance is 2,500 calories and you're doing your cut and you're cutting at 2,100 calories, as soon as you're done with your cut, immediately go back to 2,500 calories. And then the goal is you want to try and increase as many calories as you can over time, without adding body fat. That becomes your new maintenance calories. I just gave you some solid fire right there. When you're trying to build muscle without burning fat coming off of a cut, so you don't, get bloated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my calories kind of variable. So I'm going to try and keep I'm going to keep around 2,500. Okay. I don't think there's a whole lot that I need to do considering the fact that what I was doing was working. Now, the thing that I said I was going to admit is I was tracking my calories loosely. So I wasn't doing it every day. I was going hard in the gym. I was following more so the intuition of my body and what it was saying, like, hey, you need to eat because you're exhausted. So I would eat. Obviously, I made sure that I was eating the right foods. Like I had protein, good sources of carbs. Try to keep my fats a little bit limited because it's real easy to go over your calories for the day with fats. So try to keep those limited, but you still need them. Okay, don't cut out fats. And then just kind of pretty much going off of that. So with that being said, I kind of put myself in a bit of a dilemma because that means now I have to actually track what I'm eating and see if 2,500 is where I want to be, to the point where I'm not going to be losing muscle, but I'm still losing body fat. So I got to find that good middle ground. I will say that my ability to do that over the past couple months was more luck. I wasn't really focused on losing weight, so I wasn't really tracking. I was just trying to go as hard as I could in the gym and then just listening to my body when it's like, please eat something. So gonna have to play around with that for a little bit. So yeah, calories at 2,500 for right now. I'm gonna log it every single day. And then the only other thing that I'm going to focus on is my protein, making sure that I'm hitting at least my body weight in protein. I especially now need that protein in my diet because I don't want to lose muscle during this. So if I do this properly, then I'll be able to, at the very least, maintain my muscle mass while still getting leaner. And that's it for the first episode. I'm just basically going over preparation. I just wanted to use this one as an informative video to explain kind of exactly how I'm going to be doing it. And if you too want to start a summer cut, I highly recommend that even if you don't use an in-body, if you have access to an in-body, if it's at your gym or a local supplement store, go use it and just kind of get an idea of where you're at. If you do use the in-body, I want you. I want you to, or it's recommended that you do it every 30 days. I'm going to be doing mine every 30 days so I can keep myself accountable. But if you don't have the in-body, get a scale. Even if you do have it, get a scale. Okay. You have to weigh yourself every single morning, which is what I'm going to do. Make note of it, piece of paper, on a spreadsheet, Google Docs, whatever. Keep track of it at the end of the week, add it all up. Divide by the number of days that you weighed yourself, and that's your weekly average. And then you'll see over time if you're losing weight or gaining weight because our weights fluctuate every day. That's why we do it weekly, not daily. Sticking to this routine for the next few weeks, which I'll go more in depth with exactly what I am doing You guys are about to get some really fire information, actually. Things that I would actually sell, like ask money for. So you're gonna get some cool stuff. I'll go more in depth with the workouts next week, and then probably the episode after that I'll go a little bit more in depth with my nutrition, since I had a little bit of time to working at 2,500 calories, and we'll see where things are at. Let me know in the comments below what you would like to see out of this series. My goal is to make it at least 12 episodes, 1 episode a week. But if you'd like to see a little bit more of a breakdown for certain things, I might do like 2 times a week. I'll make the episodes shorter. Or if you'd like to see longer episodes, let me know. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you'd like to see. And if you like this, make sure you like it and follow along, so that, if you're on a weight loss journey to get shredded for summer, you can just literally apply everything that I'm doing and you too will get results. So that's all I got to say. I'll see you in the next one. Have a beautiful weekend. Bye.